Abby, what are your thoughts on agriculture? Abby.
Do you have any?
Yo, I almost forgot.
Hello. I'm Snapper the alligator. Part of my sobriety program requires me to volunteer my precious free time to an endeavor far beneath my capabilities. I've chosen to help these two millennial losers with their YouTube channel. Why would they need my assistance, you ask? Because they both hate themselves too much to put their own faces in front of the camera. The goal of their channel is to provide a virtual tour in selected neighborhoods around the city. One would think these two geniuses would choose to begin their channel with an area a bit more obvious, like Old City or Rittenhouse Square. But no. These two losers are as lazy as they are dumb. They've decided to christen this channel with a neighborhood as familiar to the average Philadelphian as North Dakota. Fox Chase. Here, they start at the Danish Bakers. Let's see how they fared.
Okay, so our YouTube channel is off to a really good start. This was our first destination. Probably cursed because it's not even in Philly, so we shouldn't have done it anyway. But now we can't get a fucking butter cake. Tell Google.
Abby. Thoughts? Some thoughts?
I offer to you my sincerest apologies. Had I known the full scale of their ineptitude, I would have never agreed to this impossible task. Unfortunately, the rest of the footage is just as abysmal. If it's not Mary screaming shrilly into the camera, then it is just footage of the dog running around in various parks. Exhibit A.
Yo, yo.
I should have brought a ball. Don't go in the water. Don't you dare.
In all honesty, it's not a terrible idea to feature the dog. After all, the dog has 21,000 followers on Instagram while the actual human beings haven't even reached 5,000. But, it's still their own faults for not being able to adequately film the creature. So I sent them back out to reshoot their footage. Minus the dog. It's a little better.
That's actually a fact. Yeah, I got it like that. That's actually a fact that I got it like that. Big facts. Yeah, I'm talking big facts. And that's actually a fact. Yeah, I got it like that. That's actually a fact that I got it like that. Big facts. Yeah, I'm talking big.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Smeggies. They didn't have Bud Light Lime. This is a Jack and Coke. Alright, so this is my favorite bar in America. And I'm going to show you a little treat. Follow me. You see those shoes? Those are Al Horford's shoes when he played on the Celtics 2 years ago. So one of the regulars here works down at the Wells Fargo Center, and when the Sixers beat them one night, Horford throws his shoes at a trash can, misses. The guy picks him up, comes to Smeggies, throws him over the line. Do you want to know the history of this chair?
Yes.
Okay, well, this is a good story, so pay attention. This is the chair of George Horace Lorimer. It's been in this spot, this exact spot right here, since 1918. He used to sit here right before he would do his Saturday evening Post editorials, like the biggest magazine in the whole country. He would sit here and think about what he wanted to say to all of America about immigration, about literary books, about music, about anything that he wanted. He would look out over here, his beautiful King's Oak estate, and he would sit right in this chair, the same exact chair, this chair that's been here thousands of years, hundreds of years, 100 years. Don't mind the tracks. And he would opine to the American public what he thought about America.
Ahem. For someone who didn't want to feature herself in the videos, Mary is giving her face a mighty large amount of screen time. Anyway, much of what she said was a lie, starting with that chair. As you can see here, she dragged the piece of furniture through the woods in an elaborate yet unsuccessful effort to deceive you. Ha ha. Joke's on her. So let me give you the historic information you came here for. The first thing you should know is that Fox Chase Farm is currently one of only 2 working farms within the city limits. The other is at Saul High School. Both belong to the school district of Philadelphia. Now on to the fun stuff. In 1683, William Penn bought the land that was to become Fox Chase Farm from the Lenni Lenape tribe. For the next 234 years nothing of relevance happened. But then, in 1917, George Horace Lorimer purchased the property. As the editor of the Saturday Evening Post, the most popular magazine in America, he spent many hours walking these woods, contemplating the best way to communicate his opinions to his readers. The beautiful foliage of the land really inspired a nationalistic pride in his country, so much so that he wanted to keep it all for himself. From the end of World War I to the mid-1920s, Lorimer increased the anti-immigration rhetoric in his publication. His editorial preferences eventually helped lead to the passage of the Immigration Act of 1924, a xenophobic bill that banned immigrants from Asia, restricted immigrants from Southern and Eastern Europe, and somewhat encouraged immigrants from Western and Northern Europe. But not those papist Irish. Also, he kind of liked Mussolini. Way to go, George. You've suddenly spoiled your own park for me. And one final note. When Lorimer died in 1937, he bequeathed some of his King's Oak estate to Montgomery County for the purpose of a park. He specifically stated he wanted little girls to enjoy it. Creepy. I really don't want to do this segment because it's very sad. But, you millennials really seem to derive joy from horrific true crime stories. So here we are. If you hadn't received a threatening AOL chain email in 1999 about the boy in the box, then let me give you a rundown. In February of 1957, the battered body of a little boy was found in a J.C. Penney bassinet box in the woods by Susquehanna and Very roads. The boy was in between the ages of 4 and 6, but his exact age has never been determined because he has yet to be identified. The police did everything they could to give the boy an identity. They sent out flyers, threw gas bills, offered reward money, dressed his corpse up in clothes and propped him up on a chair in hopes to jog someone's memory, but nothing worked. They checked every orphanage, hospital, and school in the tri-state area. Investigator Remington Bristow became particularly obsessed with the case. He had the boy's face turned into a clay mask which he carried around with him as he searched for leads. The Philadelphia detectives that worked on the case paid for the boy's funeral. Originally, they buried him in a potter's field but moved him to Ivy Hill Cemetery in 1998. As the years pass, it becomes increasingly less likely his identity will ever be discovered. His gravestone at Ivy Hill Cemetery identifies him as America's unknown child.
Hey. My sugar honey princess, my sugar, size some Coca-Cola enough for me, my sugar honey princess, my sugar, size some cool.
Mary, why do you need 3 words?
1, 2, 3, beer. All of it. Need it. So hot.
For the record, since Mary and Taylor failed to address it in that short clip, the Northeast Sandwich Company is the best and most unique eatery in the area. Mary, an uncultured Philistine, will not try new food and will only ever recommend the Nashville hot chicken sandwich. It is her all-time favorite. Taylor, a person with a more adventurous palate, enjoyed her General Tso's chicken cheese steak but would recommend to you the smoked brisket sandwich. This business is superior to all other businesses because they are wise enough to realize the supremacy of Martin's potato rolls. If you still live in the dark ages with Kaiser rolls and white bread, boy do I feel sorry for you. Now on to the greatest place on earth. My home. What a terrible time to be alive. It is my great misfortune to have to show you this magnificent mansion from behind this wretched screen. How I wish I could greet you at the door and give you a personalized tour of my home. Unfortunately, these stolen pictures from Google Images will have to suffice. Perhaps, though, one day, when you decide to visit the Fox Chase, Burholme area, you come here and pay me a visit. Ryerss Mansion was built for the distinguished Tioga Railroad tycoon, Joseph Walton Ryerss in 1859. He named it Burholme after the Walton ancestral estate in Yorkshire, England. The son, Robert, inherited the home upon his father's death in 1868. Mr. Ryerss turned the summer estate into his permanent residence, which he shared with his father's second wife, Anne. Though he had a law degree from the University of Pennsylvania, he never went into practice. No. My master had loftier ideals. He traveled the world, collecting treasures in the Orient and beyond. But I was among his most prized possessions. Just before he died, he shocked high society by marrying Miss Mary Ann, our housekeeper of 27 years. In his will, however, he specified that upon Miss Mary Ann's death, the estate shall be given to the city of Philadelphia. Mr. Ryerss wanted his mansion to be a museum and free to the people forever. I've been here ever since. And I couldn't think of a better service to be under than that of the people of Philadelphia. And now, we're at the end of the very first Philly History Facts episode. What a wild ride it has been. If you'd like to keep me sober, please subscribe to this channel. If you can't bring yourself to do that, then at least give us a dislike and leave us a mean comment. YouTube's algorithm won't know the difference. Thank you for your patience.